Imagine a city long lost, deep in the sea or hidden by forests. People love stories of cities like these. One famous city is Atlantis. Plato, a great thinker, wrote about it over 2,000 years ago. He spoke of Atlantis being near the Pillars of Hercules, a place where the sea meets the ocean. This story makes everyone curious to know more about it.
Atlantis was not just any city. It was full of life and wealth, according to Plato. Thousands of years ago, it was said to be like a dream world. There were temples and buildings for their sea god, Poseidon. They also believed Poseidon's family ruled the city. This amazing story about Atlantis makes people wonder and dream about what it was like back then.
Now, let's talk about Atlantis's amazing design. Imagine a place with 3 big circles of land around a middle island. Each circle is smaller than the last, like steps going up to the center. This was not just ordinary building. The way they made it was so special that many were in awe of its beauty and detail.
Yes, there were even moats with water all between the circles and strong bridges going across them. Can you picture that? And in the middle of this magical design stood a grand temple for the sea god Poseidon. The tale tells us Poseidon had a love story with a local girl named Cleito. Their children, all 10, ruled this city with wisdom. Remember, if you join us here, you can get transcripts of all our videos and support us. We really need your help.
This city was truly a wonder of engineering. They had clever canals cut through the islands, allowing boats to sail straight to that middle island. Picture how busy and lively it must have been with ships coming and going. People often dream about how such a place could have been made in those old times.
And let's not forget the rulers. These were not just leaders. They were believed to be descendants of Poseidon and Cleito. The city was theirs to care for and govern. They made laws and took care of the people, making sure everything was done with wisdom. The story of Atlantis is so full of wonder, showing us what people thought about dreams of the past.
Atlantis was rich and full of great things. They had a special metal called orichalcum. It was very valuable and hard to find. Their tools and art were the best, showing how advanced they were. Imagine how amazing it was compared to other places in those days. They had technology others could not dream of. All these wonders made Atlantis shine bright and attract many people.
Yes, they also made wonderful art and traded with far places. The people in Atlantis lived well with all they had. But over time, they changed. They became greedy, wanting more and more land. This desire for power led them to fight other nations. The Athenians were strong and brave. They stopped Atlantis from taking over, showing their courage in battle. Their victory marked a turning point for Atlantis.
After the war, Atlantis faced a disaster. The gods, still angry with the people, sent quakes and big waves. These destroyed the city. Soon, the beautiful city of Atlantis sunk into the ocean. This tale shows how even strong places can fall. Many think the end of Atlantis is a message. If leaders are not wise, they can lose everything. The tale of Atlantis is more than just a story about a city.
People wonder if there were real events that inspired this tale. Earthquakes and volcanoes have destroyed cities in the past. Plato knew about these natural events. He may have heard stories of old disasters. These events can change places quickly. Real forms of destruction fit into the Atlantis story. Sometimes these events shape lands and minds. People continue to look for the real story behind Atlantis.
We turn now to Thera, an interesting place. Once a volcano erupted there, changing everything. It was around the 17th century BCE. The once square island turned into a new shape, like a horseshoe. This volcanic change sounds quite like the legends of Atlantis, does it not? Some think this eruption might be part of the true story behind Plato's tale of Atlantis.
The people who lived on Thera were the Minoans. They were known for their art, ships, and grand buildings. They remind us of the stories of Atlantis, as they also loved the sea and were clever. But the timeline does not fit. Plato said Atlantis was from 9,000 years before his time. This doesn't match with the Minoan timeline. Plus, Thera is far from where Plato said Atlantis was.
We face a challenge when thinking about Thera and Atlantis. The location Plato talked about was near the Pillars of Hercules, not anywhere close to Thera. Some people think the stories or events Plato told might have other reasons. They may not be stories of real events. Sometimes stories come from past truths, but change over time into something more mythical.
That's true. The idea of Thera being Atlantis is not perfect. It's hard, as its geographic location doesn't fit Plato's clues. Yet, it adds to the mystery. Debates about the real place continue as people search. This is why stories of lost cities capture our minds. They make us think deeply about what is true and what is only a legend from long ago.
We've heard many ideas about where Atlantis might be. One place people have looked at is the south of Spain. They think there may be clues hidden under the mud there. Stones and remains of old things have been found. Some say, long ago, it might have been filled with islands. Maybe one of them was Atlantis with its special rings and grand cities.
There are even more interesting ideas about where Atlantis could be. Some suggest that the Azores Islands might hold answers. These islands are far out in the ocean. People didn't think ancient sailors could reach there, but some evidence hints that people lived there long ago. There are signs of temples and places where people might have traveled between islands and maybe even to Europe.
And still, there are many more places people have thought about. Places in North Africa like Morocco and even Malta have been mentioned as possible homes for Atlantis. Some people even imagined that Atlantis could be somewhere in America. The Caribbean and North America have also been suggested. Legends grow and take new shapes over time. Each idea brings exciting and new ways to dream about Atlantis.
It's amazing how the story changes as people look under the sea, too. Using modern tools, people dive and search both in the Mediterranean and the Atlantic for underwater hints of the city. Still, there is no clear proof. But while searching, they sometimes find new wonders and learn more about history. The mystery of Atlantis is part real, part legend. It keeps people guessing and dreaming.
Thinking about why Plato told the story of Atlantis makes us ask many questions. Maybe it was not just about a city or its fall. Plato, being a thinker, might have wanted to share ideas on leadership. Stories help us think, right? In Atlantis, the rulers made mistakes. They got greedy and forgot to be fair. Plato might use this story to remind people about good leaders and fair rules.
Plato's tale surely mixes a bit of truth and a lot of fiction. This makes the story both exciting and mysterious. We are drawn to Atlantis because it combines real and made-up elements. People love stories like that, as they have both history and fantasy. It keeps us thinking about what parts might be true. Such stories give us hope that we might find something great or learn something new.
The ways people continue to search for Atlantis show how much this tale intrigues us. Even without knowing what's true, we look for signs under the sea or on land. We want to find this lost city. The mix of true and made-up bits makes us dream. For many, it's not just a story, but a puzzle waiting to be solved. The idea of discovering something legendary holds a special place in our hearts.
This ongoing search for Atlantis is about more than just finding a city. It inspires people to explore, to think outside the box, and to be curious about history. Stories like Atlantis encourage us to learn more about our world and its past. They push us to imagine and question, which is a big part of human nature. The mystery of Atlantis keeps us looking and wondering, always hoping for a new discovery. Please remember to like our podcast and share your thoughts in the comments. If you wish to get transcripts of our talks and support our work, consider joining our membership on YouTube. Your support helps us keep exploring these exciting topics with you.